the Armed Forces provides amazing training.
I think about veterans as people who have already figured out how to serve.
My military skills have been essential.
Hiring veterans is a great business case. They're the best employees we have. They're flexible, hardworking, and they're used to a global workplace.
If that isn't an asset to any company, I don't know what is.
Hiring America, the award-winning television job fair for American veterans. Connecting you with companies who know your value. Learn about employers who are actively hiring today and organizations that support veterans. Your future success starts right here on Hiring America.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television series that helps military veterans find jobs and transition into meaningful careers. I'm Lauren Wonko. Today we're speaking with companies that are actively recruiting veterans and with organizations who serve the military community. You'll learn helpful career advice and also find tips on building your financial success. Log on to our website, hiringamerica.net, for more information and connect with us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel.
So as a financial planner, one of the things that I'm always thinking about, and especially applicable to military families, because what do? You PCS, right? How many of you have had more than 5 jobs? Look at that, all right? So what happens to that retirement plan when you move from one job to another? Can you say it goes away so you can pay for those unexpected moving expenses? I mean, too often that's what I see. So one of the things that we really want to focus on is keeping that momentum with our retirement savings. And a way to do that is to leave the money alone. Maybe it's a transfer to roll it over into an IRA, but don't use it. Don't keep cashing it, because if you do that 11 times between now and age 40 or 48, guess what you're going to have when you get to the end of the line? 0.
After 6 years of active duty with the U.S. Army and while serving in the U.S. Army Reserve, J.J. Montanaro began a 20-year career in financial services. He is currently a certified financial planner with USAA. J.J. joins us here in San Antonio. Welcome to Hiring America.
Thanks, Lauren. Great to be here.
What is the single most important financial advice that you give to members of the military community?
So I guess my number one piece of advice would be, hey, do you have a financial plan? And if you don't, maybe you should get one.
Making a financial plan, though, seems a little intimidating, especially because oftentimes married couples fight about money, or it's something that they don't want to discuss, even though that might not be the right approach. So what's your advice there?
Well, we need to get on the same sheet of music as far as goals, for sure. And oftentimes the times that we discuss money are the times when things are going wrong. The car broke down, we don't have enough money to pay for it, there's some extra bills. So I think having a conversation in a peaceful, routine moment, as opposed to just having crisis management conversations, is an important element of being on the same sheet of music and having a financial plan.
Tell us about some of the unique investing and saving options available for members of the military community.
Well, there's 2 that I really like. One has to do with those folks that are currently deployed. So they're in a tax-free combat zone, and after they've been there for 30 days, they can take advantage of what's called the Savings Deposit Program, or SDP, and that's a DoD savings account that pays 10%, which they can put up to $10,000 in. So when you compare that to what we're seeing in savings accounts now, that's a fantastic rate and a fantastic opportunity. So that'd be number 1. Number 2 would be the Thrift Savings Plan, the TSP. That's the government or the military's version of a 401k, and it works just like a civilian 401k. It's a payroll deduction that goes into the plan. But what again is the real opportunity is when we have those deployments, and we've been having frequent deployments since 9/11. It's an opportunity to take tax-free money, put it in the Roth TSP, and let that grow for decades and never pay tax on that money when you pull it out.
What advice do you have to military families just before they enter the civilian workforce? What should they be doing to plan for that?
They should be thinking about it long before they enter the civilian workforce. One of the things that we talk about is the need to have a 6 to 12 month stash of cash sitting aside so that when you make that transition to civilian life, you have the opportunity, one, to find a job that makes sense, not just the one that you're going to be able to get to put food on the table. And building up that kind of reserve, that doesn't happen just before you get out of the military. It's almost something you ought to be thinking about just when you get into the military, because the only inevitable thing is that anyone who serves is ultimately going to leave the military, whether they separate or they retire. So start planning early.
What are some of the top financial questions that you get at these festivals?
Well, next year on January 1st of 2018, the old military retirement system of you serve 20 years, and if you don't make it 20 years, you get nothing from the government as far as retirement is going away, and it's being replaced by what's called the blended retirement system, which has still a military retirement or pension component. It's just 20% smaller than the current one. But it also has matching contributions to that thrift savings plan, or the government's version of 401k that we talked about earlier. So it's a blend between a matching contributions to your TSP and the annuity retirement check, as opposed to just having the retirement check where you have to serve 20 years. So it's going to impact and benefit a lot larger audience than the old system. But again, anytime you introduce something that's new, people are going to go, uh-oh, what's going on there? I mean, is this good for me? Is it bad for me? Is it something I should look into?
And what do you educate military spouses about? Is it all about putting a certain percentage away into that fund for their retirement now? Maybe that was something they didn't consider earlier?
Yeah, I mean, I think if people leave with one message, it's, hey, I'm going to start up that savings engine, whether it's putting money into a savings account to build an emergency fund, if it's starting to fund an IRA or a Roth IRA, or it's like we were just talking about, the TSP, the thrift savings plan. Getting that ball rolling is one message that I hope everyone takes from these sort of events.
USAA has a long-standing commitment to helping members of our military community. How does the company go about doing that?
Well, we have a suite of financial planning tools and calculators, so folks can visit USAA.com, and whether they're trying to save and build an emergency fund, planning for college for the kids, or trying to figure out if their retirement plan is on track, there are tools and calculators that can help them do that, but they can also pick up the phone and talk to a financial advisor. We want to be there for the military community and help them navigate the financial challenges that are out there.
We'll be back with more of Hiring America in a moment.
USAA celebrates the strength behind the service.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. You know, I couldn't have picked a more beautiful day for us to have a beautiful day, right?
Today is our Have a Beautiful Day event, and this is our day to honor women, veterans, and their families by providing a day of service, a day of beauty. We do their hair, their makeup, and their nails.
This is my favorite day of the entire year. This is our opportunity to give back to the women and their families who have given so much to our country, and we really want you to know that we appreciate your service and we appreciate you for all that you do.
We started doing this day about 6 years ago in an effort to give back to the community in a way of saying thanks for your service and thanks for your sacrifice, but also we wanted to not only include the veterans, we wanted to include their family members who support them as well.
I'm Tony Hingston and I'm her daughter, so same thing applies. I'm Laura Marin, I'm her daughter, and I go to school. So.
Today is really about the women. It's really about making them feel valued and special.
So this is my first year doing this, and I jumped on it right away.
What's amazing about this day is that we have over 40 stylists and makeup artists and nail technicians who have given up a day. This is a Thursday, and so most salons are open on a Thursday, but here these men and women are in order to provide the services to the women. And so it means so much to them that I usually have a wait list of stylists.
I just want them to know that we're very thankful for their service and their sacrifice, and as hairdressers, I feel like the best part of our job is getting to make people feel good about themselves, and what better way than doing it for the women, military women and their families.
The great thing about today, our Have a Beautiful Day campaign, is it's led by our veteran think tank, which is a group of employees who are either veterans themselves or allies of veterans who just come together and look for ways to make sure L'Oreal USA is doing our best to recruit, to retain those that we have and to advance them in their careers, but also to make sure we're reaching out to the military community so that they know we are a great place to work for them and that we support them as consumers. One of the opportunities that we have within L'Oreal and within our retail partners is that we have a beauty advisor program where we employ beauty advisors in all of the outlets where L'Oreal products are sold to be able to educate consumers on beauty. So while certain skill sets are required, you have to be certainly able to communicate with people and be comfortable in a retail environment, we do most of the training in-house. And why it works so well for military families is that we have outlets everywhere, department stores everywhere. So while we may train an individual here, and if they get transferred to another location within the country, they can carry that skill set from one department store to another, from one Kiehl's store to another, and the skill set stays with them, and the career stays with them as well. So we have been very active in employing military personnel within our beauty advisor program across a litany of L'Oreal brands that you can find in regular retail outlets.
When we started this 6 years ago, it was a very small committee of people. And today, when we walked in the building and you saw all of those L'Oreal employees waving those flags and how this initiative has grown to be a part of the whole diversity and inclusion strategy for L'Oreal, tremendous. Just a tremendous day, and brings a lot of tears of joy to all of us to be able to give back a little bit.
Walking through that hall with all those flags waving, I seriously could not hold it together. I had to get to the elevator because people stood there and waved flags and was excited to see me and every other spouse and veteran that came. I mean, it's overwhelming, and it's awesome because you sometimes feel forgotten. You do. You feel forgotten.
The military is supported by many, but it's hard for people to understand what it is that we do, what it is that we go through. So to go through that corridor, seeing all of those flags just brought me to tears.
My face hurt from smiling, and it was all I could do not to stop and hug people and say thank you, because what they're doing for us, I'm so in gratitude for that, and I just want to thank them like they're thanking me.
We've been doing this over 20 years. We go from duty station to duty station. You support your spouses that leave for 6 months, 9 months, a year. You hold down your families by yourself. There's no awards for coming home, working, taking care of the kids, doing homework, doing carpool, doing all the things that you do, and as well keep your spouse lifted in prayer.
Military lives, it's a lot of sacrifices involved, and sometimes we celebrate birthdays, we celebrate holidays separated from our spouses and family members.
I take care of everybody else, and then I am last. I'm put on the back burner. So for me to come here and to receive this, I have a heart of gratitude today.
This event today is very, very emotional. I think a lot of us are shocked at being recognized in this way, because in the military, it's not even your job, it's your life. It's just something you do. Yes, there is service to your country and a patriotic aspect to it, but I mean, you just do what you do, and that's it.
The last time I went to a salon and had my hair done was about probably a year ago, if not more. I cut my own hair.
I haven't had my hair done professionally in like a decade.
We're just so thankful for the opportunity, because we didn't think that, so many people cared. Ladies, how was your day? Thank you all for accepting the invitation. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice, for the family members who stay behind. Thank you for allowing your spouse and your significant others to do what they do.
How do you feel?
I feel amazing. I feel brand new. I feel appreciated. I feel awesome.
I feel beautiful. I've been taking pictures nonstop with everybody's camera. I'm like, take more pictures, take pictures.
Let's go take a selfie. Thanks for
inviting me. Yes, I love you too.
This year, the SHRM Foundation is focusing on two core initiatives: the aging workforce and engaging and integrating military veterans into the workforce. To kick off this multi-year veteran initiative, the SHRM Foundation hosted their first summit, facilitating discussions among 61 employers, researchers, funders, and nonprofit leaders focused on employing, engaging, and retaining veterans in the workforce.
I'm really excited about today's event because I think there's a potential, and my hope is that we'll walk away with very actionable steps that we can take as a group to advance both the supply and demand side of the veteran hiring and retention challenge.
Today's event is really exciting for all of us. We've put in months worth of hard work to build a strong facilitation design, bring the right team of facilitators, bring the right participants together to really challenge the constructs that are inhibiting successful veteran employment.
Well, I'm at this event because, quite frankly, this is the first one that an HR organization is pulling together, and not so much to say how can we help veterans, how can we serve them to write their resumes. It's looking inward at ourselves as HR professionals. What do we need to do to move this needle when it comes to veteran hiring?
Everybody's here to share the best ideas because we all have the same ideals. We want to get veterans and military families into the best jobs possible so that we reduce any aspects of people not finding the right job, that we get them into the jobs that'll turn into a career, and that we can prove that this impacts the business as a whole.
There is a civilian-military divide. There's no malice, but we have to inform our HR community how to work with our military applicants. We do have to meet in the middle, or we each have to give 100%. There is a difference in perspective. So those who are comfortable with the military community will continue to slate and interview and hire. Those who are not, don't understand it when they look at the resume and will not ask for the interview. So I think we have some work to do with our HR community.
This issue is not going to go away. You're going to have, on average, 250,000 veterans transitioning every single year for the foreseeable future. So jobs and meaningful careers are always going to be a top priority.
I live in my veteran world, and it's really interesting to hear perspectives from different people from different industries and different parts of the country. It's a lot about collaborating and kind of sharing all of our experiences together that makes this pretty amazing.
Having been in the Marine Corps Reserves and doing 4 deployments, I transitioned 4 times. The first time I came back, my job was no longer there. The second time I came back, I only had a few months before I had to go on to another deployment. It was always difficult, and it never felt like it got easier. It wasn't until about 10 years after I'd done my first deployment that I started to see the community really come together to figure out how they can solve these problems, and I thought, I want to be a part of that. I don't want a struggling young corporal, much like myself, to have the hard times that I was facing. We can fix this by sharing the knowledge that we have now and the resources that we have.
One of the most reassuring things about all of this today is knowing that the SHRM Foundation is committed with SHRM to be able to take what we're doing today, collectively use the information, and put it out in meaningful ways that are actually going to start making a difference.
We've come to a point where it's time to take those who are doing really well and start sharing their practices to other organizations that are struggling, and build a roadmap to take those learnings and tools and push them down to the 285,000 SHRM members across the country. We could quickly accelerate positive outcomes for veterans seeking meaningful employment.
This week, Hiring America and Virginia Values Veterans honors Altria, a proud V3 certified company that increases employment opportunities for veterans.
Thanks for watching. The information we just shared is all on our website, hiringamerica.net. Log on and find out about companies who are hiring veterans. And don't forget to connect with us on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, where you can find helpful tips and find full episodes of the show. I'm Lauren Wanko. Join us again for another episode of Hiring America.